search engine optimization and marketing experts Robert O'Haver and Caleb McKelvin, powered by the Robert Palmer family of companies.
All right, and welcome back to another episode of Search Talk Live. I'm your host, Robert O'Haver, along with Caleb McKelvin. Caleb, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's happening, Robbo?
Not much. Excited about today's show because we were out last week.
Yeah.
Glad to be back again this week. And I'm actually looking very forward to next week because I'm going to PubCon.
Yeah, you'll be at PubCon. You're leaving me here all alone.
You know, the reason I'm so excited is because, you know, you can't go home to your wife or your girlfriend or your friends and talk about your job because they're like a deer in the headlights. Their eyes just kind of gloss over and they're like, what?
Right. Well, my wife thinks I play on social media and stuff all day.
Right.
Or just like read blogs all day. So that's where we're at. But she doesn't understand.
So to be surrounded by like-minded people that talk your language, it's just like, oh my God.
Right.
Super excited.
Right. It's pretty awesome. Speaking of my wife, happy Valentine's Day.
Oh,
it's
nice.
Valentine's. We have to drop that in there.
Yeah.
If she's listening, which she does listen to the show.
Oh, really?
She listens to the show. I kind of force her to. I'm like, you better listen. So happy Valentine's Day, babe.
Yeah. So those of you listening in for the first time, Search Talk Live is a digital marketing podcast, and we talk about everything to do with digital marketing. We talk about search engine optimization, content marketing, social media. We really cover it all. We try anyway.
Yeah.
And to give a flavor for everybody that's interested in whatever part of the community you're in, to just kind of help you succeed on and online and giving you some really actionable items to make you better.
We've got something for everybody. I know we continue to say it, but if you haven't done so, please go to Search Talk Live and check out our past episodes. So far, 2017, we're a month and a half in, and
we've had Rand Fishkin and a bunch of other people.
We have kicked ass so far in 2017. It's been awesome. So go check it out. Spreaker, also, if you don't have an account there, check that out. But searchtalklive.com, previous shows, awesome stuff. But we're here on today's show. We got an awesome show today. Yeah,
and get on your sign up for on our website, Search Talk Live, for the newsletter. That's where you get all the information about the show.
Yeah.
Caleb's getting ready to publish a bunch of content.
Working on that.
For each show we've transcribed, so that'll be some good stuff. And he breaks it into really cool sections, so it'll be good entertainment for you if you're a geek like us.
Yep, coming at you pretty soon.
Now, if you have questions for the show while we're talking, you can go to Twitter and go and do hashtag Search Talk Live. And we're monitoring that right now. So if you have questions during the show, please don't hesitate to ask. Or you can email us at robert@searchtalklive or caleb@searchtalklive.com.
Yep.
All right. Now let's get to the show.
Let's go.
Our guest today is with SEMRush, or SEMRush if some people call it. We're going to talk today about machine learning and user intent. Both very excited to talk about those topics because they're really good topics. But our guest today is Mark Gorrell. Mark, how's it going?
It's going well. It's good to be here.
Yeah, your first podcast. Welcome on. Welcome aboard.
Yes, I am excited. It's a good one. It's a good start.
Yeah,
right at the top.
Yeah. So those of that haven't heard of you, or I doubt anybody's ever not heard of SEMRush or whatever. But tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Sure, absolutely. So I started at SEMRush. So typically in the States, you call it SEMRush. Overseas, SEMRush. Both are fine. So I started here about 2 years ago. I actually started in the success team, doing technical support, kind of really, just working on the tool every day, helping clients just understand everything's in there. And then just recently, I started a new position. We kind of call it events and education, more or less just helping get SEMRush in the university level. It's really exciting. I'm 29. I went to school in the early 2000s, and when I was there were marketing classes, but digital marketing didn't exist basically at the collegiate level. Yeah. And even to this day, so I went to Penn State, which currently does not have a digital marketing degree. You can take classes, but a few other schools starting to understand digital marketing, the importance of it, and I'm just here helping them have a tool to help get the kids that education, the information, all the metrics, everything in there. It's good analytics.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and I kind of want to expand on this a little bit because this is really interesting to me. Because like you said, I think we're probably the same age. When I was in college, this kind of stuff didn't exist. They weren't focusing on it. And even now, you talk to kids coming out of college and, they've done social media stuff and they maybe get some internships going into marketing and kind of learn it that way, but they're not getting hands-on with it, with any type of digital marketing or SEO, while they're actually at the university. So do you see this changing? Do you see this kind of changing to where they're getting more hands-on with it, to where they don't have that deer in the headlights look, when they get out in the real world, so to speak? Is this kind of shifting?
Let's hope. I can tell you that the number one question I get when I speak about SEMRush, SEO, SEM, any of these things is, what is a backlink? So I think the deer in the headlight still exists for sure.
Yeah.
But at least now they're seeing the headlight.
Right.
At least they are beginning to understand that digital marketing, it's more than just Google does whatever they want. There's actual work to be done here. This is it takes a lot of time and effort, and so that's really interesting.
Yeah. Do you ever speak with kind of members of any type of board at these universities and make any recommendations on what they should be teaching these students, what should be in the curriculum and part of these classes, to where they're getting, because this is where the industry is going. This is where marketing is going. This is what is a big component of businesses and how they grow their revenue and grow their reach. Do you ever kind of put any input with some of the higher ups on what they should be doing?
So it's actually interesting. Right now, most of at least the classes that I have worked with, the professors, they're typically the only professor or like one or two, and they're the head of the digital marketing program. And they're all, doing this like an adjunct role while working at an agency or owning their own agency. So there isn't at least in my experience, there hasn't been a board to determine. It's basically the school grants you, the class for the semester, and then you kind of teach them what you find to be important. So even with the ones that are doing the post-grad learning, it's still very much just like, hey, this exists. Be aware of it. Yeah. Here's like very entry-level stuff.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Let's dig into it, man.
Let's do it.
We're going to talk about machine learning.
Machine learning.
Just kind of let you roll.
Yeah.
What is machine learning?
Sure. So what? There's machine learning, and then there's machine learning and how it affects SEO.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a self-explanatory. It's basically the idea that we can develop algorithms to learn by itself. It doesn't have to have that human input. There can be, because there's supervised and unsupervised. One basically just means like, hey, I'm going to give you all these data points, whether it's 1 point 1,000 times or 1,000 points one time, and then you're going to make predictions based off of what was provided. Or, you can go, here's what we believe will happen. The algorithm does its magic and then makes predictions. This is, of course, a gross oversimplification.
Yeah.
But what I find interesting is how it affects directly search engine optimization, and then very much the revenue side of it. There are competitors exist for the major search engines that you never think about. Like you always think, okay, you got Google, you got Bing, you got the other ones. But they're an industry, so like if I needed a question that I can't just immediately get with a search engine, I can just call Robert up and be like, hey, do you know the answer for this? That is a form of competition. So machine learning is this idea that's like, just make answers, so much faster, so much more valuable. So ad placements all of a sudden are very important, because you need to understand exactly what someone's intent is by their search. They might type, purple shoes, and it could mean they want to buy a pair of shoes that are purple, or some brand that's famous for being purple. You gotta figure that out. And then it also, on the SEO side, all of a sudden user satisfaction and the content of your pages becomes a real SEO ranking factor. Because Google's got to give these, or Google, Bing, everyone, they have to give relevant, trustworthy content, and they have to hit, they got to get it right every single time. And, it has to be the top of the list has to be right every single time. Mm-hmm. So, you can have thousands of PhD guys doing that, or you can try to build these algorithms. And that's what I find so interesting.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, I mean, with that, as we bring that up, are there different factors that are going to go into, do you think, that would impact actual rankings and in the results and the content they're providing? Because they're saying, user interaction, user engagement is not playing a factor. But if we're going into that route, and that's we're taking this approach, isn't how they engage? If they find something more valuable than the other, wouldn't that mean that Google wants to provide the more valuable content? And that's user engagement factors are going to play into that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. The and that's the user intent side. You have to. There is so much data that goes into it, a nearly infinite amount of data. So you have to, you just have to find this way to make it make sense. You can make all the scatter plots you want with data points, but at some point, there's going to be a lot of math that has to be done.
Right.
That's the
it's amazing. I'm like you. I think it's amazing that. Okay, so let's say, whatever you may search for, Google or any other search engines have to come back, especially Google, because you got like Google Home and all this other stuff where it's really hitting that machine learning, algorithms to understand what you're looking for, and about 99% of the time, 90% of the time, it's right. Mm-hmm. That just fascinates me because the amount of data that would take to get that right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's, it's not just, when you consider these factors, it's not just, what's shown on the list. It's the next step. It's when they actually visit the site. Yeah. You're looking at things like click-through rate. You're looking at, sessions per page, how long they stay on the page. If they click on the first three listings for 3 different domains, do they stay on one longer than the other? So there's just so much that goes into it. And it's so fascinating.
Yeah. I think the key is obviously with the content and the optimization of the sites, you really have to take into mind the user's intent. Obviously, I guess what I'm saying is you can't just go red shoes and then, sprinkle that throughout the content. It's got to make sense and have quality for Google to understand what you're offering there.
Right, absolutely. I think of it as like the next step after the semantic search.
Yes.
Google and Bing and all the SERPs, I think they've more or less conquered semantic search. Really, I think the only last obstacle there is making it so that people no longer optimize for common misspellings. Right. Just fix all that, and then, here you're, it's just it's that whole funnel idea to get. Obviously, if someone's looking for a computer animation degree, that is the idea that they're just looking for general information. But if they're looking for, computer animation degree Orlando, now all of a sudden it's like, okay, this person is, looking to apply for college. So that's the intent there. So yeah, there's a ton that goes into it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. If you're just tuning in, appreciate you listening to Search Talk Live. We are joined by our special guest today, Mark Gorrell of SEMRush. If you'd like to get your questions in, you can do so on Twitter. I'm managing that right now. Use hashtag Search Talk Live. We are talking about machine learning and user intent. Very interesting topic. It's kind of the trending thing right now, talking about. A lot of people don't know really what it is, what's going on with it. So we're trying to take a deep dive into what we have here. So hashtag Search Talk Live on Twitter. Get your questions in. And
now, Mark, hang tight. We got to take a break for our sponsors here. Oh, maybe not. Online PR is something every company should take advantage of because it creates buzz around your business. Press releases are a great way for your company to announce new product launches, company milestones, new partnerships, or even up-and-coming events. The hard part is knowing which press release distribution service to use that has an effective distribution at a price that fits your budget. Well, I have the answer. For as little as $39, PRUnderground.com guarantees your press releases to be on Google News, digitaljournal.com, social media outlets, and an additional 50 websites and blogs. PR Underground was ranked number 2 in user satisfaction out of all the other press release sites by G2 Crowd. This is one of the tools I recommend you add to your marketing tool belt for PR, marketing, and SEO at a price any company can afford. Go to PRUnderground.com. That's PRUnderground.com and send out your next press release. Enter the code SearchTalkLive and get 20% off your first press release.
All right. Yes, you can check out PR Underground. Go to PRUnderground.com. Very helpful resource for you. Search Talk Live is also sponsored by the Robert Palmer family of companies. You can go to robertpalmercompanies.com. Check out everything they have to offer. A lot of good stuff. robertpalmercompanies.com. All right. Yes, let's move forward talking about machine learning. There's a lot going on right now with it. What's the future look like, do you think, Mark? Are we going to see things happen pretty quickly with it, with machine learning and how it's used for SEO? Or is there anything we should be looking out for here in the near future?
Not only do I think the future is going to be like I personally feel like this is the big thing in the future in the SEO sphere. I mean, it's outside of the SERP. Major companies, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, they all use this in some variant or another to help. It's all prediction models. It's all to understand, because it goes hand in hand. These people all want to know what users, potential users, current users, what they want, what their keystrokes mean, what the keywords they're going for, and then anyone involved in SEO or any digital marketer, it's just going to the SERPs, the companies, they're just going to get better. It's just going to get better and better, and you just have to keep up with it. And you just want to understand that it's Google tells us, content, backlinks, rank brain. Those are the major things you got to worry about. But the content, so delivering what people want, understanding their intent, is going to be, or maybe not, maybe backlinks will still be number one, because every time I look at a case study, it always seems like backlinks is number one.
Links, yeah.
Yeah, but maybe that second factor, that holy grail, what everyone, because backlinks are kind of there. You either get them or you can't. There's only so much work you can do. But this optimize your content rather than the old school idea of what people are searching for, but what people think they're searching for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it does make sense. And, the thing is, I see a lot of content and a lot of companies not catering their content for that and don't necessarily have that understanding. And it's a pretty difficult task to do. It's not something where you can just keep throwing content up. That takes a lot of research and understanding about your market and target audience. But if you actually can deliver that type of content, you're going to have a huge advantage probably over your competitors, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, huge. And talking about backlinks, it is crucial, but you see kind of a shift in understanding the context of these links and the content surrounding these links. Do you think that's going to have a bigger impact moving forward? Because links are extremely important now. Getting those is important for your content, for your website, but it seems like it's shifting now even more to this day that the context and the content surrounding that link is becoming a bigger factor. Is that something you see?
The citation of the link,
Yeah, look, if you can find links that have a trust score that's perfectly relevant and it's perfect content, then I think that how to phrase it. So I think the better your content is for the user, the more relevant is the way that you can present that in easier to understand from the user perspective instead of the machine perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. I if I had to bet, and I'm not a betting man, I would wager that Google is more interested in creating high or to put content that ranks higher that people understand than SEO guys understand, or what they think the machine's looking for.
Right.
So
yeah,
and it also goes. I mean, it does go back to the fact that the old school thought of optimizing for search and not for people. You got to make sure that when that content's written, your main goal obviously is to get traffic, but not to write in a way that you think. Do you get what I'm saying, Caleb?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's tough to put into words. It's the way I look at it is, for so long, I've only been in the SEO industry for 3+ years now, and you're kind of taught this method of finding what a machine, what a robot would be interested in ranking at a higher position, but is still also readable, is also still quality content for a person. I'm hoping and praying that we can kind of get back to the idea of just making better content.
Exactly.
And then the machine can learn is like, hey, the keywords might have a better density score, and they might be, the mapping might make more sense in this content, but 90% of people are going to enjoy reading or get more out of this paragraph than the optimized one. So let's put this one and the other one 2.
And I can even say the company you work for, SEMRush, or SEMRush for some people, puts out really good content. I read probably at least one article a day off of that site. I mean, I think that that has been put, the thought has been put into it. It's not that you're trying to put out good information.
Yes, I can tell you from personally sitting next to the blog editors and the content team, the amount of work they put into just the 3-paragraph one white paper. The amount of work that goes into that would drive me insane. I don't know how they do it, but they do. I will absolutely give a shout out to the content team at SEMRush. They do a wonderful job.
Yeah,
all the guest bloggers as well. They're smart. They're smart.
Yeah. It's one of the rare ones. There's a few that I enjoy reading. The majority you'll find of publications, especially in the digital marketing area, is basically just regurgitating information or saying the same thing over and over again. And so something like SEMRush and some of the others, is refreshing that it's actually tangible content that you can take, apply to your own strategies and stuff like that. So if you don't check their blog out already, I'd definitely say it needs to be in your daily or at least weekly reading for sure.
Yeah, and it's good. I mean, the fact that you have a good staff of people, pushing it out to social media like Olga and all them, and you're really hitting home. You guys have an amazing social team. Not just saying that, but
no, they are.
The engagement is
around the clock.
Amazing.
Yeah,
and they will. If you have questions, reach out to us on Twitter. We will answer them for you, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And also our webinars, just to get that out there too.
Yeah.
We do typically at least one webinar a week, and they are industry related. They're useful. I try to watch every one. They're good stuff. And if you guys want to be on a webinar, shoot us a pitch. We'll see what we can do for you.
Sure. The other thing I wanted to mention too, and it's because it gives out good advice, is the chat you guys do.
Oh, yes.
The SEM chat.
On Wednesdays? Yeah.
Yeah. I just did that last week, and it was a blast.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very good stuff.
Every Wednesday, SEMRush chat. It's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm in it every week, so if you want to be one of my very few Twitter followers, you can check me out on Wednesdays.
Well, maybe after the show you'll get a bunch.
Yeah.
That is definitely my weakness, is the social marketing. It's just, everyone's got their strengths and weaknesses, and social is just tough for me.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, speaking of social, we actually have a question come in.
Cool.
Regarding social media. Chase is asking, with the advancements of machine learning, does that mean that social media signals could possibly be considered a ranking factor, or at least have some type of impact on rankings? Is that something you see?
What I was going to say was just listening to what Gary and stuff saying. I don't think it's going to be much as social as it's going to be as people citing you or citations about your brand. Because I'm starting to hear a lot of stuff about that, and you know, I would love to see that and then links go away. but, don't want to say that out loud.
No, I mean, I agree totally with that, especially just in just in today's society. I mean, it makes way more sense if you can get social shares being more of a factor than backlinks. I don't think it is. I don't think it will be anytime soon. Especially with the chaotic nature of social shares. The viral nature of how everything works. But so to answer his question, I don't think that will be a major contributor. I'm sure at some point it factors into that to RankBrain, but who's to say how much, if any?
Yeah. I think I'm just trying to get out of the link building. That's not.
Yeah. Oh, I love link building.
You can have it.
If you're good at it, you can retire young.
You know, I actually enjoy that. It's actually a fun thing to do because it's like when you finally get a good one. You know, you see that one come through. It's a big victory.
Yeah,
it feels good.
You're good at it too.
But
let's love sending emails.
Yeah, yeah, right. Let's see. Remember, you can get your questions in on Twitter using hashtag #SearchTalkLive. For our special guest today, Mr. Mark Gorrell of SEMRush. Am I saying that last name correctly?
I was about to congratulate you guys. It's you're absolutely saying it right. Okay. That double R trips people up. I get Gorrell a lot, and it's a little frustrating, but you guys are nailing it. I appreciate that.
Awesome.
There we go.
Yeah,
first time.
Yeah, we talked about how you were a teacher and I was a teacher before that. That was actually one of my favorite things to do is go through the roster the first day. And I'd play a game with them on getting their name right. If I got it wrong, I did 10 push-ups. I ended up doing a lot of push-ups with it. It was a fun thing.
That's a dangerous game. I think I'd still be doing push-ups if I played that game.
Yeah, right. That was a fun one. Let's see here. Now, how do we prepare for? How do you think? Are there things we should be preparing for or focusing on with machine learning? I know we kind of touched on some things, but there might be some SEO specialists out there not really understanding what's heading their way or if they should make any adjustments or what that should be. Should you just be focusing on kind of the key elements of providing that, really diving into providing that content and just kind of having your core SEO values there and kind of let everything take care of the rest? Or there's things that you should be preparing for that's going to impact your machine learning and your SEO?
I think there's quite a few things that you should be preparing for. Most of what you just said, just the idea of making your content what people want. Easy to say, difficult to do.
Yeah.
But there's tons of articles and webinars and YouTube videos that you can watch on how to make content that people want to read. And I do think that's where we're heading towards. The thing that I want to preface all that with is that with the exponential growth in technology, this is, I believe, machine learning is one of those like 5 hot button issues for 2017. So people are just kind of starting to know about it.
Yeah.
And with the way these things go, now that we're kind of just becoming aware of it, it means, 2 years, 3 years by now, it is going to be the norm. you know, so if you don't jump on it now, if you don't understand what's happening, if you're not preparing yourself for what's to come, you're going to find yourself very far behind very fast.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, and I think, understanding how users engage with your site, if you're really delivering what they're looking for, review that data, dive into your analytics and understand, if people aren't liking what they're reading or what they're seeing, the numbers and the analytics will tell you. So that's something I think is something you should be focused on. And that goes along with what we're talking about as far as providing that quality content. If it's not there, you'll know it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. Yes, get your questions in. Hashtag #SearchTalkLive as we're talking about machine learning and user intent. And just to kind of expand a little bit on user intent, it might sound self-explanatory, but can you kind of dive in a little deeper on that? Maybe provide some examples on if user intent and then kind of what you should be providing or how you can provide it to meet that user intent.
Yeah, sure. I think it's twofold. I think first there's the keyword that you're optimizing for, and then there's the actual content. So, examples for user intent. If someone is going to Google, what's a good one that you can kind of dive down. So we've used that computer animation one before. Mm-hmm. So if someone Googles the term computer animation, that is very broad. Maybe they're just interested in computer animation. Maybe they're beginning they're just beginning research on it. So if you think of a funnel, they're at the top of the funnel. They haven't really shown any intent in anything specific yet. But then if they start Googling things like computer animation schools, now okay, this is probably someone ages, somewhere between 15 and 25, somewhere in that area. They're looking to study it. They're looking to go to college for it. So you start getting a bigger piece of the picture. Then they Google something like computer animation schools in Philadelphia. Now you're like, okay, this guy or girl is ready to make an action. They're ready to apply to a school. They're ready to do some sort of bottom of the funnel or close to the bottom of the funnel action. And that's in a perfect world what you would want to optimize for. So you can just kind of tell by the keyword what their intent is. The computer animation keyword, they're just trying to get information. Computer animation degrees, a little bit more intent. Yeah, an idea if they're getting close to making a decision, they add that location, they geo-modify it, or however it works. Then you can start telling, okay, this person's close to making a decision.
Yeah, and you can back that decision up too by, let's say you have a little budget and you can do an AdWords campaign. Mm-hmm. And that's a great way to find out, the user intent and, which ones are converting the best.
Right.
Right. And then, if you just need ways to find these, there's a bunch of tools out there. SEMRush can do it, yep, where you can just say, okay, I offer a service. So I'm just going to type my broad service in, do some keyword analytics, do some semantic searches, see, how people break it down. Even silly things like Pizza Philadelphia or Philadelphia Pizza, very, very similar, but very different, search volumes and even technically intent. It's a little flimsy, but there is different intents there.
Sure.
And then the actual content on a page, it's the same idea. If you are a blogger trying to just describe what computer animation is, you have like a Wikipedia-like page and you just want people to see it and, you just want page visits. That's your goal. Then you can optimize for computer animation. If you are a online school and you don't want to modify for anything, but you do want people to, fill out a newsletter, or if you want them to subscribe to your blog or something, then you can start and you cater to specifically new college students, someone who would not have any experience in it. Then you can do the computer animation degrees. And then if you're a college based in
Oops.
Oh no!
I think we just
computer.
Lost. Oh, there you are. Okay, we lost that last part. You cut out. What'd you say?
Where did I cut out?
when you're talking about when someone wants to do a computer animation course.
Cool, gotcha. So it's just the idea. So if it, it all depends on what your call to action, what your conversion is. If you're just trying to get people basic information, you want to optimize for the broad keyword. The further down, the more specific you can get. You just want to optimize for the service you provide, what your intent is to provide.
Yeah.
Optimize for what they want to search.
Yeah. So it's not just trying to rank for a keyword. It's trying to focus on that keyword and how your target audience is using that keyword. And that's a completely different approach, especially for when you're dealing with maybe a client, whether you're doing freelance or an SEO agency. They're like, I want to rank for this word.
Yeah.
Well, ranking for that word in this case, it might bring you some traffic, but you're not meeting the people and their needs. Here's our focus. Here's how we need to use it. Here's what they're actually looking for. That's important knowledge and can make a huge difference.
It's a huge eye opener. I've had several clients where they're like, I want to rank for this.
Right.
And then you do all the competitive analysis and all that stuff and come to find out, that's not the one you want.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, especially if you look at just volumes, you might have a keyword that has 5,000 volume and a keyword that has 90 volume,
right,
but So yeah, you could potentially get more traffic, or you probably will off the 5,000. But if the keyword that only has 90 is highly specialized, niched, and you're going to convert on it, then that's the one you want.
Yeah. And sometimes it's hard to get them to have that, switch that mindset, because they see traffic, more traffic, they automatically think more opportunity for conversion, and that's not necessarily the case. It's, you could actually end up with nothing, essentially.
Yeah, isn't that kind of like digital marketing in a nutshell? People have that like billboard philosophy.
Yeah.
If I put a billboard on a major highway, 10,000 people are going to see it every day. So 10,000 is a bigger number than if I put it on a bus ad that only 50 people are going to see. So obviously I want the 10,000 volume. But, with the advent of technology, you can specialize who sees it, and you can really focus on that and save a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Very good. Yep. So we are entering into the last half of the show. Remember, you can get your questions in, #SearchTalkLive for Mark Gorrell of SEMRush, whether you want to ask questions about machine learning, user intent, or even SEMRush. Of course, Mark is very knowledgeable about the platform, so you can ask questions about that. You can get those in on Twitter using #SearchTalkLive. And Search Talk Live is sponsored by the Robert Palmer family of companies. You can check out robertpalmercompanies.com.
And because it's Valentine's Day, any relationship advice. Just kidding.
Yeah, feel free to tweet. I will give you bad advice that will surely ruin your relationship. You can thank it for me later.
Blame it on Mark. I do
want to say though that I love your little intro riff, especially 3:30 on a Tuesday. You kind of start getting that like afternoon lull, little rock music, perk you up. It's beautiful. Good job.
Well, good, because I was getting ready to change it now.
I mean, I hate it. Change it.
No, I'm not changing it. It's got to kind of. We keep singing it every time we walk in the studio.
It's a good one. It's good. It's just that little bit of energy you need to kind of perk you up for a fun chat about analytics and data.
Right. Yeah. So I got a question. So with this machine learning, as we advance, is there going to be more understanding on the user's history and how they've searched and the things that they've searched for and what they're involved in? Because if they're able to know that, maybe when they do search for a very general term or keyword, they're going to understand, okay, here's everything that they've searched for, everything they've been involved in. If they've searched for this, most likely this is what they want. Is that something we're moving towards? Do you think?
I mean, that's an interesting question. I have to think we are, because that data already exists.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyone who's ever made a Facebook ad, that they can tell you, pretty much down to where the person lives, let alone every other creepy bit of information you want to know about them. Right. So, but that's really interesting. In fact, I bet you if you could be one of the first people to find a way to, it's like a three-step process. So first you have to identify your users. Then you have to, from that pool of users, see what their collective history was. Mm-hmm. And if you can do that and then write content based off of that history, then yeah, that's got to be a slam dunk. That's a brand new idea to me that has just completely fascinated me. So I think I have a new interest in content marketing. That is a fascinating idea, and just kind of riffed in here, that has to be what we're moving towards. I mean, that data is available. You're just looking at data pool A and making content pool B. So there's got to be a way to merge those two. It's just you got to be the person who, maybe someone out there has already done it and they want to write a paper about it so we can all learn or keep it secret.
Right. Well, I mean, we're lazy. We're getting lazy. We're lazy when we read. We might eventually get lazy when we search and not want to type out the whole thing.
We'll be like that Wall-E movie.
But you take, for instance, if I type in blue suede shoes, am I wanting the Elvis Presley song or am I wanting an actual pair of blue suede shoes? And if they know that I was looking for a suit, 30 minutes earlier, and then I type in blue suede shoes and then they offer me that, that's completely, hey, that's taking a lot of, I don't have to type in the rest of that sentence.
Yeah. The thought though is that, say someone searches for the word cat. Yeah. It's probably been searched for a billion, trillion, gazillion times.
Right.
And based off of each one of those results and what that user did, it comes up.
Yeah, kind of the timeline that it leads to.
It says, okay, well, most of the people, when they type the word cat, they click on this. So this is mostly likely what they're looking for when they type in the word cat.
Yeah. I just want to jump back to that blue suede reference because I think that might be the best metaphor I've ever heard.
Right.
But it describes the idea there. And then especially when you start factor in voice search because we're only a few years away from what was it? I think it was like Black Friday 2000. It was either 2011 or 2012. It was something like 4% or less than 10% of all purchases were made online. And then the next year it jumped up to like over a third, near half. So if just from one calendar year, society can change their actions that much, voice search is going to be, outdoing, type search any day now. So if you can get that information, you can just kind of catalog what people are searching for and even like their vocal patterns. I mean, we're going like next level here, but that's these are all things that can exist. And if you can be on the forefront of that and kind of ride the wave, then you're gonna be a major player in the game. You can be the next Gary V. Oh man.
Gary V.
Which I'm trying to get on the show.
Yeah. Gary, if you're listening, what's up? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's getting real technical. And the thing is, you might say, well, that might be, way down the line. It might be actually around the corner. How we can actually, how much they're understanding the user, how they interact with all of their devices and with voice search. I mean, it's crazy to think about the possibilities and also the challenges that SEOs, digital marketers face with those kind of developments and kind of make your head spin a little bit.
Yeah. What do you guys think about the idea that, this is kind of like the backroom discussion that like Google typically tries to make it so that, the SEO industry can't be as successful as we want to? How do you think that would play into, this discussion if they like try to keep what they're doing secret?
I would have to say I agree that that's possibly what's going to happen because we were just talking about this a couple of shows ago where, with the advent of Google Home and those type of things where you're totally skipping the whole funnel thing when you're, the purchase cycle where, if I say I'd like to purchase the best priced 50-inch LCD screen TV.
Go.
Yeah, basically. And it goes from through the purchase and everything, skips the website, all that stuff, and everybody else that should have been there.
Right.
Yeah, I have one of those, the Alexa. It's the same thing as the Google Home. And, you can just, if I want to watch, if I want to watch a TV show about commercials, I can just ask it to go find that for me, and then it brings it back. So it's, like you said, it's skipping the buyer's intent. It's skipping that whole, the buyer's journey. Yeah. So the idea of optimizing for a web page, optimizing in a SERP, in the results page, that might be history and who knows when, a few years, a few months. So, if those, what do they call them? They call the home assistants or something. Yeah. If those, I'd be surprised if those don't take off. And then, that could, we could be here a year or two from now having a completely different discussion about how to optimize for, the Google Home.
Right. We were even talking about how it could possibly be a paid, almost like AdWords where
pay to play kind of thing.
You want to come up first in voice search?
Yeah, right.
Does paid voice search exist yet? Or
no.
If not, it has to soon.
Right? I'm sure it would at some point. Yeah. Hey, you got to make money.
Hopefully Google wasn't listening just now.
Yeah, right. Like, ding.
Yeah, let's stop giving them ideas.
Right.
Yes. They have enough revenue channels. We don't need to give them anymore.
Oh, man. I'm telling you.
So I think the sky's the limit with machine learning. It's also, it's helping Google to better optimize their searches, that's their business. That's what they're in.
Yeah.
So, I don't think it's obviously out there to hurt SEOs. But it puts the user first. So
it makes your job more difficult and more challenging, which is not necessarily a bad thing because it seems like every step they're making is, kind of the more skilled individuals, teams, and everything like that are the ones that are coming out on top, which is kind of how it should be. Yeah. They're the ones that are providing the quality, and so you can't really knock it from that sense. But it definitely it presents a lot of challenges. And like you said, Mark, you got to stay on top of it. You got to understand what they're expecting, what you need to be providing, and it's a struggle.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that's why you got to listen to, podcasts every Tuesday at 3:30. You got to
there you go.
And you got to exactly. You got to read blogs and watch webinars. I mean, there is so much information out there, and it's. I mean, if you're into it, if this is the type of stuff that you're actually interested in, and you want to do it, it's more or less a 24-hour job, between answering emails and reading all this content and actually doing your job. But it is so worth it. It's so rewarding, and it's never going to be the same. I don't think you can ever be bored doing SEO.
Right.
I like the saying, if you do what you love to do in life, you won't work a day in your life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I totally believe that.
Yeah. You might be stressed out when you're a digital marketer and SEO, absolutely. But you're not working.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, you'll be having fun, but you'll be at least you'll sleep well, right?
Yeah. Right. Now, I know, Mark, that you've been diving into this for a little while, and it's kind of taken your interest. If somebody wants to learn about it, more about it, other than listening to Search Talk Live, of course. If someone wants to learn more about this, do you have any recommendations, like what they should be doing or how they should be reading up on it and kind of improving their knowledge of this so they can be prepared for it and actually take the correct action?
The way that I originally got into it was the Google head of engineers, whose name I forget right now. So I'm quickly Googling it so I look like I know what I'm talking about. Ray, this guy, Ray Kurzweil, wrote an article about it back in like 2009, 2010 or something. That's the first time that I ever, I think, read the term machine learning. And that had more to do with like the advent of how computers will, like, not his words, these are my words, make humans obsolete and everything. But that's fascinating stuff. So then, but I mean, if you just Google machine learning and then you don't click on Wikipedia, because that's always number one when you Google something. But there's blogs out there. SEMRush has blog articles that tackle it. Moz has articles that tackle it. Some of the other major players talk about it.
Yeah.
But if this is something that you're interested in, you can become a data scientist and develop algorithms and do more calculus than I will ever understand. That's one route. Or if you want to stay within the digital marketing realm, I mean, this is a real chance to kind of be, the forefront, to be the leader. People always want that $1 million idea. Well, here you go. This is a solid opportunity. No one can guarantee it's going to work out or not, but if you're willing to put the time in, you're interested in, you can kind of shape what this becomes, or go work for Google. I guess that's the option too.
I think some other advice I'd give too is, like, if you're wanting to do digital marketing, diversify. If you don't just do SEO, learn paid search, learn website design. I mean, I've learned all that stuff, not to brag, but I mean, I just, if SEO goes away tomorrow, I still got a livelihood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the, actually,
not that it is. Please don't take me wrong.
Yeah. I think you're safe for at least for a few more years. What I tell some of the college students that I talk to, that I think one of the best ways to get your mind wrapped in SEO to kind of understand, like, what is all of this, is to build a website.
Yeah.
And then make a $5 AdWords campaign. It doesn't have to be a website that ever makes you money. And I mean, it's $5, I think that's the minimum to do an AdWords campaign now, because you can make, penny ads that will never show, but just, or, Bing ads or whatever, because just by doing that, you build a website, even if you just want to go to like Wix or Squarespace or one of those ones, right. I would recommend doing, WordPress, but, build a website, optimize it, use one of the many analytic tools that exist, get into it. And then, exactly. Thank you. Just use the tools, see the data, look at the analytics, and then start becoming fascinated by it. Start actually being interested. Like, oh man, I ranked 97th second for this keyword yesterday, but then a couple weeks ago I made this really great content and now I rank 76. No one's ever going to click on it in the 76th position.
Yeah.
But you start seeing numbers go up and then you're like, oh man, I'm winning. It's you can get addicted to it like anything else.
No, absolutely. That's great advice. Getting hands-on with it is a fantastic way to learn. And just doing that, even if you make mistakes, you're going to make mistakes. It's not that big of a deal, but you can learn from those mistakes and understanding what's going on. And like you said, when they get those tiny wins, you're like, okay, well, I'm doing something right, moving in the right direction. How can I make that better to make even more improvements? But that's awesome advice. Anybody looking to get in the industry, if you're young in college, that's something you need to try because it's kind of like learning in the streets. A little bit. You get that experience, and when you learn hands-on, you're just going to get that much better and more knowledgeable about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's an interesting time because, do you guys know anyone who has a degree in digital marketing?
No.
I don't. So, this is a real opportunity. There are high school kids working out of their mom's basements 3 years ago who are making $100K a month. So if if the desire is there and you want to learn, there is the vertical growth is insane, and there's so much. It's so fascinating, and then diversify, know so much stuff. It's talk about it all day. It's so much fun.
And if you don't work for somebody, you can always build your own thing and start.
Man, a lot of people doing that,
right?
Yeah, opportunities there.
Yeah, find a website, start it, pay a couple dollars a month to host it, and just, badger your friends and family to optimize their websites.
Right. Good example is eBay.
Yes.
That was nothing at first, and then it just blew up.
Yeah. eBay is a good story. YouTube, Etsy, all these, park and garage websites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Multi-billion-dollar companies.
Right. So, just start a website. Maybe you'll have a billion-dollar website someday.
Look at what is it? I guess Facebook and Snapchat are probably the two most quickly profitable companies. The Facebook guy just wanted to find a way to talk to his friends, and I say Facebook guy like we all don't know Mark Zuckerberg. And then the Snapchat kid just wanted to send pictures, and now they're billionaires. So you got a good idea, optimize it. You can retire at 25.
You know who I feel sorry for, and I hate to get off topic here, but the guy that was winning on Facebook with Mark Zuckerberg invested $1,000, and because he lost, I don't know if you watched the movie, but he wanted his money back, so it pulled him out of Facebook before it was anything, and now the guy is penniless. And Zuckerberg is one of the most richest people on the planet.
Right?
Yeah. Wasn't that like that crazy story? Like 4 guys went in and 1 backed out, and the other 3 are all like multi-hundred millionaires or billionaires now.
Yeah. Can you imagine going through life just kicking yourself?
That one
going
bad
to your
decision.
9-to-5 job.
Yeah, right. That one bad decision.
It's a nice story to tell.
Yeah, right.
Actually, I wouldn't tell anybody.
Hey, it's a Caleb would understand. It's a teachable moment, right?
Oh yes, absolutely.
What a tough lesson to
That's
learn.
a tough lesson. That one stings a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm sure if he really wanted to, he could write a book, sell 1 million copies, and make money off of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Mark, we are about out of time, man. I want to thank you for being on the show. You've gave a lot of good information, and
very good stuff.
We'll be
This was
sharing
a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely,
no problem.
man. We'll be sharing this right after the show, so you can see it on Facebook, Facebook. Yeah, Facebook, Twitter, all of it.
All over the place. But, we definitely appreciate it. A lot of great stuff. I learned stuff. I know our listeners did, but maybe we can do it again sometime.
I'd love to. Yeah, have me back.
Awesome, Mark.
Thank you
Have a
very
good
much.
one. We appreciate it.
Yeah, now, you guys, one thing I wanted to bring up, too, next week is PubCon. I hope to see you guys out there. If you see me, stop by, say hi. We're just overwhelmed with the success of the show because if you were here when we started out with just hey, let's try this out. It'll be fun.
Yeah, please don't go back and listen to our first episode.
Yeah. No, we deleted it.
Because it is awful. That's awful. Not saying we're that great right now, but we're a lot better than we were.
But we just talked to somebody overseas, big in the industry.
Yeah.
Was telling us that they're going over to conferences over there, in marketing conferences in Europe, and people are actually mentioning Search Talk Live as being a good podcast.
Yeah.
How humbling is that? I mean, to me, it's
crazy.
Like, what? There's people that listen to us? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, we know they listen for our awesome guests, which, of course, we understand that. We appreciate all our guests coming on the show, taking time out of their busy schedule, because we've had some pretty amazing guests, just like today with Mark, come on. So we know you listen for the guests, but we definitely appreciate the support that you've given to Search Talk Live. Whether you've tweeted at us, shared anything, listened, liked anything, whatever it may be, we definitely appreciate it. And if you are at PubCon, unfortunately, I'm not going to be there. Robbo's going to be there. So definitely stop by and say something and have a little chat with Robert. And, if you would like to be on the show and you're at PubCon, by all means.
Yep, I'm up for free beers. No, just kidding.
By all means, let us know, and if you're going to be there, tweet at us. Hey, Search Talk Live, be at PubCon, set up a meeting, whatever it may be.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be sitting in the sessions. I'll be walking around talking to the different booths and everything. But please stop by. Don't be afraid. Say hi. I mean, maybe I don't know you, but it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
You're a listener, so that's big to us.
Yeah. So, no, we definitely appreciate you listening today. If you missed any part of today's show, you want to go check out the entire episode, you can do so on searchtalklive.com. Right when we go off air, it'll be on our previous show's page. Also, we'll be tweeting it out, sharing it on Facebook. It will be on Spreaker. It'll be on iTunes. You got plenty of places to check it out, so no excuses on I couldn't find it, because it's there. So plenty of opportunities. Check it out. Check out previous shows. Just immerse yourself in the Search Talk Live community.
And if you're in the U.S. and you really love the show, you can listen to us 24/7 on iHeartRadio.
Man, if you can't get enough.
Right. God, can you imagine? No, I couldn't do that. But, go to our website, sign up for the newsletter, guys. That gives you up-and-coming shows, and Caleb's getting ready to post a whole bunch of content.
Yo, buddy.
That we've been working on, and as far as transcripts of the show and all kinds of great stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like I said, if you have questions, you can do #SearchTalkLive. But if you want to keep it personal and private, you can send it to an email to me or Caleb.
Yep.
It's Robert at Search Talk Live and Caleb at Search Talk Live. Very simple.
Or DM us. Do people say DM now? Is that I don't know, direct message? I don't know if DM is in like rap songs and stuff. Send us a message on Twitter. How about that? You can do that as well. And you don't even have to wait till next week's show or the following week's show. You
anytime.
You can send it to us. That's the beautiful part about being on our newsletters. You always know what's happening. We'll send those updates. And if you see something that you really like and you want to get a questions in, shoot it to us, and we will work it into the show. We promise.
Yeah, we're also looking for sponsors. If you're interested in being a sponsor of the show, we have a very specific demographic of the community of professional SEOs and
business owners and
website owners,
stuff.
You name
owners,
it.
Yep. So.
And if you're interested in being a guest, you want to be a guest on the show, we would love to have you. If you're an expert and you know what you're talking about, and can provide some really good insight, it gives you some exposure as well as helps people out.
Yeah.
Giving good information.
Right.
Guys, I want to thank you for being on the show. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you for listening to the show. And thank you for your support. We will see you. Well, we'll have a recorded show next week, so you can still hide out your questions, and I'll be running around PubCon tweeting.
Yep.
So, we'll see you next week with a new episode.
Have a good one.
Search Talk Live is a presentation of the Robert Palmer family of companies.